Hey guys, so now I'm going to be filming my December wrap-up. In the month of December I read 12 books. I think I did pretty well with the reading considering that I've been working so long. It's just that I actually find time to read where I have to wait an hour or two before I go to work. So it's like I just sit there and belt out a book or two and it's really good. So I'm very excited to show you the books that I've read. So the first book that I read was The Elite by Kira Cass, and I followed on with The One, also by Kira Cass, then The Selection Stories, which included The Prince and the Guard, and The Heir, which is not like part of this series but kind of, a continuation. So I read these 4 books. I was very excited to finally finish this series because I've read the first book in August. I'm pretty sure it was August or October. And then it took me like another 4 months to get to the rest. So I enjoyed these books, but sometimes they got a bit silly and stuff, and it was kind of like I got a bit irritated with the character of America because she was just so indecisive. If you want to know more about how I felt about these 4 books plus the selection, I made a massive book review. It goes for a long time, so if you're interested in the book, you should watch it. If you're a bit probably don't watch it because it's quite long. But I just did a big ass BAM version of all of the books, and also watch that if you want to hear more about how I thought about the book. But the next book that I read was A Flash of Blue by Maria Farah. Now this book isn't like the best thing I've ever read, but the plot was so intense that it just kept me, I just couldn't stop reading it, and I legit read this in like a day, spanned over 2 days, but pretty much 24 hours I read this book, and it was really interesting, and it really made you think. This book, oh my god, it was so intense. So intense, this book. I recommend people read it. On Goodreads, legit, only 49 people I think have read the book. At least it's 49 people who have read the book and talked about it on Goodreads. So I think, or marked it as read on Goodreads, so more people should read this book because it was so intense. It was just, oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god, it's just so hard to explain what happens because you can't really say anything without revealing plot stuff in this. So I can't really speak about it as much without spoiling the book, and I don't want to spoil it because you gotta go into this without knowing anything, really. You really do, so yes. The next book that I read was Snow Like Ashes by Sarah Rush, and this was a really enjoyable read. First few chapters I was a bit confused about what the heck was going on. It wasn't explained as well as I think it could have been, but as I got more into it, stuff started becoming more, I started understanding stuff a bit more. And just saying though, the ending, I pretty much guessed what was going to happen from the first few pages. And I'm really happy with myself for guessing it. But it was it's a bit of a giveaway. This book is quite tropey, I think, and has a lot of similar elements to other books, but I still really liked it. And I mean, the cover is amazing. The next 2 books that I read were 1,000 Pieces of You and 10,000 Skies Above You, both by Claudia Gray. In the same series, if you don't know, the covers make it seem so. These books were so amazing. I really enjoyed these, and they're so big as well, so there's so much for me to read. I really liked how it's sci-fi. It's it's a good young adult sci-fi book, I think, and it's so good. It's about dimension travel, and you get to see all these different versions of the Earth and different time travel elements, and I was just like, oh my god, oh my god. And I love the characters. Margaret was an interesting character, and I really loved Paul. Paul was great, and Theo was also great. Everyone was great in this book. And I can't wait for the 3rd book to come out, and it hasn't got a name, a cover, a title, or anything. I know it's coming out this year because it's 2016 now. I also read in a way that I've never read before, and that was on, it's not a Kindle, it's an iPad, so I'm using the app iBooks. But I read Unenchanted by Sahan, I cannot say her name. Chandrahan. This book was really great, but seriously, I've never read on a device before because I really like having, it's really making my face bright. Look at that lighting, just keep that there. It's really, I really like having the physical copy of a book in my hands. I really can't get past that, but when I saw all these free books on iBooks, I decided to get this one because it sounded really, really interesting. and I really enjoyed reading it, except all the other books in this series cost money, and if I want them in paperback they cost money, like a lot of money, so I feel like I'm going to be stuck with only having read the first one. But it was really interesting. Like, I liked the take, just keep that lighting right there, I liked the take on like the fairy tales and how like Red Riding Hood was done in this one, and a lot of different things were done in this one. The ending pissed me off a little bit because I didn't like what happened, but it was still really good. See, we gotta makes my face look more brighter, doesn't it? I need better lighting because it's pretty stormy outside and rainy. So next book that I read was Attachments by Rainbow Rowell, and this is her first book, and I really like the fact that I've gone into reading Rainbow Rowell by reading the first book she ever published. I think that's great because I'll see like the development in her writing style, and see, because everyone's first book most of the time is always crap or it's always good, so you never know, but this definitely wasn't crap. I really liked this take on a contemporary book with how it's in the 90s, so it's like, you know, throwback to that time, and it's about a guy who's an IT guy and his job is to read emails that have been flagged, and two girls, Beth and Jennifer, they write emails to each other and he reads them and he just finds them hilarious, and then he starts falling in love with one of the girls. I won't tell you who because it's fun just, you know, really choosing who's gonna, but it was a really great read. I recommend people read, you should read this, like please read it, please, so good. The next book that I read was A Little Something Different by Sandy Hall. Now this book wasn't the best plot-wise, but I really enjoyed all the different perspectives and how it wasn't written by the people in love it wasn't from their point of view, and legit, there's a point of view of a squirrel and a bench. That doesn't happen ever in a book, does not happen. It was just so great. Like, I mean, the romance in this took so long to like develop and happen and stuff, but it was a good book. It's just the plot was a bit like kind of a bit hard, some bit boring in some parts, but still good read. And the last book that I read was Abandoned by Meg Cabot, and this is a Hades and Persephone's retelling, and it was a really good retelling. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and it was fun being the last book I read of this year. These are all the books that I read. I won't hold up the iPad just because it's a bit difficult, but I really had a fun reading month this month. So yeah, but anyway guys, thanks for watching and I'll see you soon.